Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be bringing you the first project for the spring kit for AmiraInOz Scrap and Craft, making daisy chains. I created a beautiful little spring album made out of envelopes. I have a huge stash of envelopes and I'm always looking for ways to use them up. This album is made using the EchoPark Hello Spring collection that we got in the kit. Very beautiful, and I really love this album because I used a lot of the 4x4s, a lot of the 3x4 journaling cards, as well as the 4x6 journaling cards. So I'm really excited to show you how I use these elements, because another thing I'm also trying to do is use up a lot of my journaling cards and project life cards, and so I wanted to show you what I did. So this album is held together with this beautiful ribbon that comes in the kit. This is a butterfly ribbon by American Crafts. It is held together just with a little bow on the side there, and it's attached in one area, which is just at the front here, so that when you undo this little bow, it kind of just comes apart and stays stuck to the front here. And oh, and let me just tell you that it is also a Gorjuss spring album because I tried to use as many Gorjuss elements as I could on each of the pages. So the other thing that I used, it was not part of the kit, but it is part of my collection. It is the Santoro Gorjuss mini stickers, 75 pieces, and they are the cutest thing ever. And so I placed them here, there, and everywhere. You will see in just a moment. So the album opens up like this to start off with. So hello spring, and then down here you see sunshine and warm days. This is one of the stickers from that Santoro Gorjuss. So it opens like this, like this, like this, and like this. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? So cute. So in the middle here, I've got a little girl that I've stamped and colored and fussy cut out. This is one of the 4x4 journaling cards. In each of the pockets here, so these envelopes are all functional. You can put things in there, and I've just put these cute little cards that you can take out and put notes in and whatnot. So over here it says love and smiles, and there's a pretty little gorgeous girl here with her hands behind her head, and she's laying there in the flowers. And this is the inside of that one, and then this is the back, live in the moment. Then next one is this one here, Live Life in Full Bloom, and she is one of my favorites. I called her Rapunzel. I'm not sure what Santoro calls her, but she's so cute. And she says always be happy, and this is the back. So that one goes back in there. On the side here, spring flowers bring May showers. This is the inside, and this is how I've decorated it. I've used both the branding strip as well as the sticker, as well as the sticker sheet from the EchoPark collection. Very cute. And this is the back, tiptoe through the tulips. And then here on this one, this little note card, keep your head in the clouds. You're my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. More stickers from that sticker page. Always be happy. So when you pull out all these little elements, you get a gorgeous girl almost on every page. One here, one here, one here. And then on the side here, I was made for sunny days, more of the gorgeous stickers, and then here again, hello sunshine, more of the gorgeous girl, and then close it up, and then close it up, and you've got your note cards here, either to put inside or to give away to your friends. So if you want to know how I made this spring album, stay tuned because I have a tutorial for you coming up next. So let's get started here. What you're going to need is 4 envelopes. Envelopes come in a lot of sizes. Just make sure that all 4 envelopes are the same size. I'm just using black cardstock here in the background so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm using my blue pen here just to show you where I'm going to be applying the glue. Now, all you're going to need to do is I used my ruler here because I wanted to line up the edge of the envelope with the crease of the flap of the envelope, just so that the mini album is pretty straight and it folds nicely. So you've got 3 envelopes in that formation, and then last of all, I'm just showing you here where to apply the glue. and I'm just using PVA glue here. You can use double-sided tape, you can use whatever you want, but just make sure that everything is lined up in a straight line so you don't have any wonky envelopes or any double folding. And really, the skeleton of this album is done. It is so easy. Now I'm going to be adding 3 layers of paper, so I found that this was enough to make the envelope pretty sturdy. I didn't have to use any heavier weight envelope, but you can always make your own envelopes out of the thicker medium pattern paper, and it will make your album super sturdy. So I'm just showing you here that the inside of the album there is 6 2/8 by 6 2/8, and so I'm just adding pink and blue paper to the front and the back. I'm also just inking up the edges and using double-sided tape to adhere that on. The next thing we need to do is just add a little bit of pattern paper to the inside of each envelope. You can choose to add it all the way in. I just cut it down to 2 1/4 just so that it fits within, but you have to use all that paper because you don't really see the rest of the inside of the envelope. So I just added enough to cover that area, and slowly your mini album is taking shape, and I love this stage. I love looking at it taking shape over time. I'm also just making sure that everything fits nicely. When you adhere your paper, make sure you don't adhere it on the line. Just give it like 1/8 of an inch so that it folds nicely. I'm now working on the front of the album. This is what you're going to see when you first give someone the envelope. So that first section is 6 2/8 by 4 2/8, and so you're going to need to cut paper to that size so that you can add it to all those envelopes. I'm bringing in the 4x6s here, and I've chosen the main 4x6 element that says Hello Spring to be the first thing that you see. So I'm just putting in pink pattern paper behind it. I think that looks nice. And then I'm going to add the 4x6 journaling card. I did choose to distress the edges first with my scissors, and then I inked the edges as well, and I'm using Distress Ink tea dye. The next thing I want to do is work on the lower section, and so it says Hello Spring, Sunshine and Warm Days, and I love that yellow pattern. So that goes down first, and then I'm going to apply the 4x6 journaling card. And then that is done. Next, I want to work on the flaps on the side, and for those I'm going to be using the 3x4 journaling cards. I love this one here that has the little box of tulips. I think it's so cute, and just the yellow is lovely, so I'm going to put the yellow paper down. And on the other side, I chose I Was Made for Sunny Days. And I love the blue because I picked up the blue from the clouds, so I thought it was pretty perfect for that. I inked the edges and I tried to line them up so that they were in the same position when you close the two flaps together. And the one thing I love about interactive albums is how you're continuously flipping the pages over, and yeah, that's one of the elements that I love about these little albums. Next, I want to bring in the 4x4 cards. I think they are beautiful. They have beautiful sentiments and beautiful imagery, and I would love to add them to this album. I start off here just arranging them in this formation, but then I realized that I still had a few 4x6 journaling cards that I really loved, and so I brought them in and I added them to the top and the bottom envelopes. And then I got an idea for how to use the 4x4 cards as well, which I will show you a little later on. So what I ended up doing was using 3D foam tape in a U formation and allowing the envelopes to still be functional and popping up those 4x6 cards a little bit more, just so that you can add more stuff into the envelopes to the top and the bottom. It's now time to cover the envelopes on the right and the left. Now the thing with this is the funny shape of the envelope, and instead of just tracing out the shape of the envelope and then tracing it out onto the pattern paper and cutting it out, I did decide to just cut off these sections from both of the envelopes, and I just used my craft knife here, and I was just really careful not to go all the way through into the pattern paper and the rest of the album, and I just snipped off the flaps here, and I will repeat the same thing on the other envelope, and that way the envelope is a tuck spot for you to put stuff in, and it's just a straight up and down line which you can adhere your pattern paper to as you wish, and not have to go ahead and not have to worry about tracing sizes and cutting it out of the pattern paper. So this now makes your envelope 2.5 inches wide by 6 2/8, and I'm just going to go ahead now and add pattern paper to the left and the right side. Alrighty, so we're at the stage now. All pattern paper is done. The pockets are working and functional, and it's now time to concentrate on the main element of this album, which is going to be this beautiful, gorgeous girl. This is my recent purchase from the Santoro Gorjuss line. This is Bluebird's Proposal, and she's just the normal size. She's not the mini and she's not the large, but my goodness, because I've been doing the mini series this year in 2018, she feels huge to me. She's really large, but she really isn't. They are originally this size. They're about 3 or 4 by 4, and she's gorgeous, but she did require the Tim Holtz stamping platform, and I inked it up a couple of times because she was brand new. It didn't take first time nor the second time, so usually 3 or 4 inks is what I take to stamp an image properly, especially a red rubber stamp. Now I'm grabbing my Prima watercolors here. I'm using the classic set and the metallic set. I'm going to put the name down below because I can't remember right now. And I'm going to start off first working on the log. The log, I put down a light color first, so this is like a honey color. Prima doesn't really name them, it numbers them, so I don't remember the number. So after the first light layer, I'm going to add a little bit of brown around the edges, and the log gets done pretty fast. And then I'm going to turn my attention to her hair color, and I decided to go for this like way out blue, and she's so beautiful. She carries it so lovely. And it's always amusing to me. When I watch myself, I always end up working with my fine liner small brush, and it takes me forever. I'm forever picking up color, picking up water, and I don't know why I don't just use the larger brush. So I think I, at this stage, had gotten sick of continuously using the small brush, so I went to the large brush, and then I went back in with the fine line brush to add extra dark blue to the edges where the shading is supposed to be, and I just left a band of lighter blue along the front bangs to simulate the light hitting that spot. I then move on to the skin, and I am forwarding this, making this pretty fast because, like I've said earlier, I'm not really someone who can teach coloring. I'm just learning myself, and I'm just adding a little bit of color here along with that skin color beige. I tried mixing a little bit of the red with the beige, and it made a beautiful color which I used as blush around her cheeks, and I also ended up using that color around the edges of her face, under her bangs, along her shoulders to show a little bit of a suntan, and also underneath her knees, just to make it look like those were areas that were kissed by the sun. Next is her dress, and I was going to go for the blue hair pink dress, but something inside made me want to try the orange, and she looks beautiful with her blue hair and her orange, so there she is sitting with her orange dress. Remember that blue and orange are complementary colors on the color wheel, and so I think there's something very visually pleasing about this combination of blue hair and orange dress, and it kind of does stand out from the brown on the log. And I also made sure that I shaded underneath her dress with a touch of gray on top of the orange color that I'd added. So I allowed the orange to dry and then just added a little bit of watered down black just to make it look dark, like it's the fold of her dress. Next, I'm working on her socks. Her socks are going to be like a combination of orange heart and gray socks. And then her little tie is black and white. Next is this cute little blue bird, and I just copied off the packaging of the stamp, and this bird is half blue, half pink, and he turned out so cute, and I just allowed the watercolors to mix on their own here, and he turned perfect. Next is the mushroom, which I made purple, and then the acorn, which I made pink, and I really went all out crazy here. Nothing real, it's all whimsical. Next, I made a green flower, pink flower, and a red flower, all with yellow centers. And then it's time to fussy cut. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to break this video into 2 parts because we're almost already at 15 minutes here. And I still have a lot more to show you on how I embellish the inside of my mini album. So I hope you come back and join me for part 2, where I embellish and fill up this gorgeous spring mini album. I'll see you in my next video.